All right. What are you thinking?
Why haven't we launched yet? The question that everyone asks me. So, we've been making a lot of videos recently, and we've been getting some questions about when are we launching? People are super excited to use Sequence, but they can't seem to get their hands on it. And so I wanted to make this little video to address why we haven't launched yet, because Sequence is a very real thing. It's a tool we use, in our own daily workflows to make these videos. We're gonna make this video on Sequence. I wanna give some context for why it's taking so long to get this thing out to market and what we're gonna do to get it into your hands even faster. The first reason why it's taken us a while, and this is primarily my fault, is I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. And by a little bit of a perfectionist, I mean, I'm a huge perfectionist.
Do you think that perfection could kill the company?
Perfectionism could definitely sink this ship, but I think we're really inspired by other products that have a high bar of good design, and we want to meet or exceed that bar. And I think that's one of the things that makes us different than what everybody else is doing in this space. Web-based software is notoriously difficult to make it feel like a desktop application, and we've spent a lot of time just trying to get the little details right. We spent a year working on the timeline interactions and making sure that when you're dragging the clips in, working with another person, the way that the timeline clips interact as multiplayer, that it would behave exactly as you'd expect. That the clips move out of the way, when another person's dragging them in. We didn't have to go through and make it that, insanely complicated, but we wanted to because that was the level of the craft that we wanted to deliver with the product. It would have been way easier to cut a lot of corners when building this. And the same goes for every other part of the application as well. Just all the drag and drop interactions within the library, little details around animations in the timeline itself, expanding, collapsing menu. There's just so many little details that if you're an editor and you're living in your NLE, 12 hours a day, it should feel really, really good to use and really delightful and pleasant. And so we've just wanted to knock out all of the details that make it feel really good. And that has driven a lot of time in terms of building this. The other challenge with building Sequence is just the sheer complexity of the technology. Parker likes to say that it is the most psychotic way to build a video editor, and I have to completely agree with him.
Crazy.
But it truly is. I think that we definitely took an approach on the technology side that it is more complicated. But the trade-off was that, we wanted to build the most capable tool, and we took technology choices that are going to enable that most capable tool, but it is a little bit slower to build. Sure, there are libraries that you can use, and we do use some of them, but the way that we wanted Sequence to work, going back to that perfectionism, we wanted to work very, very specifically and very, very cleanly and very well. And so we've had to implement our own implementations of a lot of these basic features.
It's worth it, right?
It's super worth it because it's awesome. Where are we going next? We want to get this thing out, and we realize that you've been waiting really, really patiently. There's a fear that we have that if we keep moving more slowly on the technology, being perfectionists about this product, it's never going to get out there. And I think that you all have really high expectations too about what this product can and should be. And so we just want to level set that going forward, we want to roll this out in smaller chunks. We want to solve very real problems that you have in the post-production workflow and iterate quickly on those in order to build a business that can realize the dream vision of this Oscar-worthy production system.
Yes, we have this grand vision that's going to take a long time, but currently we don't sit either as a full Frame.io or a full Adobe Premiere. So what we want to do is figure out what we are really, really good at that those other things can't do and make those into viable workflows for people as we build out the editor.
Okay, what Parker said. We want to level set the expectations that we have a lot of work to do to get there. And in the meantime, we want to craft other pieces of the workflow that can really improve your life in terms of the collaboration in post-production.
All right, camera's rolling.
Rolling.
Mark.
B and take 2, Mark.
Before we wrap this video up, I just want to say thank you to all of our fans for following us, supporting us. You've kept this thing going for almost 4 years now, which is a crazy long time in the tech world to, have not launched a product yet. And it truly means the world to me that you guys are so excited about what we're building and the potential of it. The team's biggest focus is go-to-market. We have a couple big projects left in terms of the editor functionality that we're trying to wrap up and get them out. And then from there, we're gonna talk to you and figure out what do you need for us to be your tool of choice. And we're gonna iterate, build as quickly as possible to get this into your hands. You know where to sign up, sequence.film, reserve your ticket, and we're gonna be launching more pilots soon. See you in the timeline.